Hello team, today's challenge is Pizza Party, where we're given an array of hours that people have worked. So each individual person, the hours that they've worked, and we need to calculate the number of slices they're allowed to have based on that, with the minimum number of slices being 2. And then from there, once we have that total, we figure out how many actual pizzas we need to order. So lots of little math in here, and it goes pretty quick. If we go over to the code, we can start working on this. So cleaning this up and changing this to a variable. Let's call it slices, okay? Now from here, I'm going to use a reduce because I want to tally up the number of slices, and throwing an array at reduce and having it churn out a single thing, well, that's exactly the point of reduce. So it's perfect that way, which means that we can get the accumulator and the current, and we send it into our function like this, and our starting value is going to be 0, right? 0 slices of pizza. And then inside of here, we do the math, or we do some of the math, okay? So the first one is going to be the number. That's probably a terrible variable name, but for today it works, okay? And we're going to take current divided by 3, because that's what they want. They say for each person's hours divided by 3 to get their slice count. But you can't have parts of a piece of pizza, right? It's like you already have a slice. You can't go smaller than a slice. So we need to do a little bit of rounding on this, which means we should wrap it up and go math.ceil, okay? Because we round it up to the next full slice, okay? And then from here, we want to return our accumulator plus whatever that number is. But there's a chance that this number could be less than 2, right? It could be 0, it could be 1, right? I mean, it shouldn't be 0, basically, because of this rounding up, but it could be less than 2, right? We have that right here where there's a minimum of 2 slices. So the way that I get around that is I use math.max, and I toss number in as the first one and 2 as the second one, and it will pick the biggest one and then add it to the accumulator. Okay, so I don't need a conditional on this because math.max is the conditional, okay? From here, we can return, and what are we returning? Well, it's going to be the number of slices divided by 8, okay? Again, this is going to be, this could be a floating number, and we need to round it up. So just like before, we go do this and math.ceil, and it should work, okay? And it works great. There's nothing wrong with this. If you wanted to, you could do a stretch goal where you take these numbers are kind of magic, right? And they could really be options. So while this solution works, I would actually take it a step further and go options, making it a default like this, okay? And then down here, I would destructure those options. So a destruction that we'll come back to, and this is going to be options. And in the past, I would spread options into another thing, but check this out. This is actually easier. I completely forgot that this is an option for destructuring, right? You can set default values. So I might have something like hours per slice, right? And set that equal to 3. And then I might have the minimum number of slices, just like this, and that might be equal to 2, right? And then, of course, the slices per pizza, right? Slices per pizza, just like this. Set that equal to equal to 8, right? That's what we're doing. And now it's very flexible. So I can take this and replace the 3, just like that. Min slices, replacing the 2, like this. Slices per pizza, just like this. And everything still works. It works great. But if somebody tosses in an object that has slices per pizza as 12, then all that math just works, right? I don't need to do that. There are different size pizzas, right? Different slice counts on those pizzas, stuff like that. So being able to make it really flexible is where I would live, okay? And that's where I would leave this for today. So to start out, we got the number of slices using a reduce, right? We did the math there. Again, throwing an array at it and letting it do its thing, right? If we wanted to, we could extract this function for further testing, right? But with the slices, we figured out how many actual pizzas, right? And then after that, we made it just a little bit better by making these options, right? By adding an options object and using those instead of these very magic numbers. So now everything is achievable, everything is editable by the person using the function. They don't have to come in here and create a new function for 12 slices or 20 slices, whatever it's going to be. Okay. Again, not every solution, just hopefully one good solution. If you liked it, if you hated it, if you found a different way that you want to talk about, hit me up in those comments. Otherwise, today this has been Pizza Party, and I will see you in the next one.